Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment, a perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more, ready to shine on the global stage. Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to CTR Media Network TV. I am your host, Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, and as always, we're bringing some of the best within the educational and homeschooling industry. We're letting you meet these organizations as well as the providers, authors, parents, homeschooling graduates, and so much more. And so right now we have another amazing guest on our show that's going to share with us a little bit about her life and all of the books that she decided to write and why. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, I am so excited to have you here. And before we even get started, I want you to tell the people your name, who you are, and what you do.
Okay. Hello, I am Vernette Nettles. I am an educator. I'm a retired educator. I'm also an author, publisher, writing coach. I can be located and found at www.vernettcnettles, all one word, vernettcnettles.com. Or if you'd like a daily prayer, www.vcndailypray.com. What else did you ask me?
That's okay.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your business. Why did you decide to get started? Because I heard that you said that you are a former educator.
Yes.
So am I. So what made you decide that I'm going to become a teacher?
Oh, why did I want to be a teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Mercy. My first grade teacher saw in me the potential and the possibility to be a reader. So she would keep me after school and worked with me so that I became a reader early on. I kept in contact with my first grade teacher off and on over the years until she passed recently in the last 5 years. In the third grade, my teacher insisted that we were excellent. And she even took interest in my brother, who was a year older than I was. In the fourth grade, my teachers, we were, unlike other elementary schools, we were departmentalized. And I saw different teachers pouring different things into us. And I wanted to do that. I wanted people to read. I wanted people to write. I wanted people to know. And for years, I wanted to teach. And my sister says she remembers me teaching to my stuffed animals. Now, I don't remember that, but she said she does. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. And I've always wanted to be an English teacher. And so I was an English teacher until I moved into central office, and that aspiration to pour into students continued because I was a Title I teacher. And I wanted to make sure that those, and people have a lot of different impressions about what Title I students, who Title I students are. Title I students are just like everybody else. They are students. They just don't have as many advantages as everybody else starting out. And so I wanted those students to have as much as I had. My daddy said you can't take knowledge with you, so why not share it?
Oh, I never heard that before.
But that's what he always taught us. And Mama wanted us to share. So that's what I've always done. Now, in terms of writing, I've always written poetry since I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody said, "Oh, you should write a book." And I thought, yeah, sure. And for every meeting that lasted way too long, you tell me when I've talked too much. for every meeting that lasted too long, I wrote a poem about the meeting. Because we meet to greet, but what do we do after the meeting? We meet to meet again. No work accomplished, just more meetings. So at some point I decided, you want to assemble your books. Your books of prayer. And I ended up writing a devotional first. And I was so surprised that was the work that God had been leading me to do. And it's been a journey ever since.
Wow. Okay. So
I said too much.
No. So what I heard was that very early on, you had some very instrumental teachers in your life.
Yes.
And that sparked a love for the art. I would say the journey of learning, and you want to instill that same learning and that same nurturing aspect into other people or other children, because that's what you receive.
Yes.
And you have always been a great reader because they actually help you to become a good reader.
Yes.
And then writing came naturally, because if you can read well, you can write.
You can write.
Okay. And so you became a teacher. You began to help other people that may have not had the same opportunities with Title I.
Yes.
And now you have a plethora of books on your lap. And I heard you say that you did other things as well. So what made you decide to come to Flourish to share what you do?
Two things. For every child that is taught, there's a parent. Right?
Yeah.
My children's books, I have 4 children's books. May I show them?
Yeah, you should. You show all of them.
I brought 3 of them with me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Beautiful Just Like Me and Smart Just Like Me. Beautiful Just Like Me and Smart Just Like Me are written to allow our children to believe that they can. Beautiful Just Like Me is my story. I was the darkest child in the family of 6 children. And I was often teased at school, teased at church, but teased because I was the darkest. And the story tells of a little girl who comes home and she is teased because she's darker, but her mother takes her to the photo album of success to show her all of the different hues of the family and to acknowledge all of the success, because we are beautiful just like me. And that beauty is not just outward, it's inward. And so the book talks about the academic and professional successes along with the beautiful person. And Smart Just Like Me is kind of my brother's stories, because sometimes we struggle in school, and we think when we struggle in school in the 3rd grade, in the 4th grade, and 5th grade, that is our legacy. It is not. Every time you struggle, there is growth attached to that struggle. And every time you share your struggle, you grow and someone else grows. And so in this story, the young man goes home and he shares with his dad his struggle. His dad takes him to the photo wall of success of his brothers. And one a retired Marine and one a current businessman, and allows him to understand that you may struggle today, but that is not your story tomorrow. And our children need to know that, because a lot of times they sit in what they call defeat or failure, but every failure is a road to success.
It is.
You can't stop. Failure is never the end. And so that's what I wanted our children to see. That's what those 2 books are. And the other 2 books are about grief. I'll pass that one to you. I remember my cousin as an elementary student grieving for the loss of her mother. And very often we don't know what to say to our children when they grieve.
That's true.
And we sit stunned when children lose their parents. And so this book is designed to give them just a few tools to, and the book is written for that child, so that child has an opportunity to tap into their own space and their own grief. Now, I said for every child there's a parent, right?
Yes.
We have to tap into our faith. That's one of the major ways we pour into our children.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other aspect of what I write are books on faith.
Mm-hmm.
I have several devotionals and several books of prayer.
Well, that is great. I mean, for me, you can't do anything without God. I mean, that's just my personal philosophy.
Speak a word.
But you can do what you want to do. But I know, as for me and my household,
And me and my house.
okay, that's a whole nother story. But we're gonna stay on topic.
Look, the title of one of the devotional planners is Walking with Grace, a Fresh Start. The three of them are all have grace in the title. Because that's for me and my house.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I can see how, faith played an instrumental role in your life, as well as self-confidence, motivation, being able to have that self-worth by just the books that you displayed, and helping children to be able to see their worth early on.
Yes.
Because many times when we think about our worth, it's either damaged at a young age, or we haven't been taught.
Yes.
We're just taught like, okay, you got to get through the day, do this, do that, do this, do that.
Mhm.
But what happens when you're approached with those type of challenges? What do you do? And so the fact that you're addressing this early on is something that is needed, because children now hold their emotions in more so than ever. I mean, we have all this tech, but no communication. That
is so dangerous. And I think I'm at a point now in my personal life where I understand the harm of not sharing.
Yeah.
We believe, even as a young child, we believe that our anxiety, our trials are our own, and we don't share them. It's so important to share the space that you're in, because not only does it help in your healing, it helps someone else. Because I spent a lot of time believing my challenges were my own and I didn't have to share them. You grow up believing that what happens in your house stays in your house. And I understand the significance of that. I don't take that away at all. But there have been times when my pain was in my house. And I didn't deal with it appropriately because it was mine. But I have learned that the same things that trigger me trigger other people. God has placed us in this life to commune with each other, so that each one really does reach one. And if we don't take those opportunities, we miss them.
See, the fact of the matter is, our story may have happened to us, but it's not for us.
Say a word.
Yes, it may have happened to us, but it's not for us.
Right.
It's for the next person that is there to help. And it's a chain. It's a chain effect that we have to say, because it's something that you can say to me that I have heard 1,000 times, but when it comes from you, it has substance.
Yes.
And I listen and I take action.
You see it different. You see it. You just struck a chord with me. You cannot imagine the joy and the revelation when I found just what you said in scripture. We spend a lot of time hearing scripture, but when we see it in print, it just changes the whole scope of what it means. And I understood that clearly one day when a lady said to me outside of the post office, "Thank you." And I said, "What?" She said, "The way you behaved after everything they had done to you spoke to me." She said, "You weren't angry, you weren't bitter, you did what was required of you, and you did not allow them to get the best of you." That was confirmation for me to walk in a spirit of truth and in excellence, not in what they charge you to walk in.
Ooh, child, don't you start. Don't you do it. Because you know we can get going now.
Yeah.
Me and you. Okay, you guys, listen. I'm going to stay on task, but we might have to have some sidebar conversations.
Okay. I'm going to behave.
But listen, you guys. This is something that we really have to talk about. It's a lot going on in the world today where we have to make sure that we have to build that self-confidence, get to our children early so they can make the right decisions. Letting them know that their voice matters, letting them know that we love them, letting them know that it's okay to make a mistake because mistakes are stepping stones to your success.
Yes.
Every great thing that we have that we enjoy today came from someone else making a mistake multiple times first before they got that aha moment, okay? And so I'm just hearing all of this and I'm seeing your books and I'm seeing Walking by Grace, Walking in Faith. And I'm just like, yes, because we need to bring the family back together.
Absolutely.
The family need to come back together.
Absolutely.
We're too separated.
We are.
I don't know like what it's gonna take to get us all back to the simplicity of everyone sitting down, eating a meal together.
When I moved to Montgomery, that was my insist.
Yes.
My daughter was a teenager and my niece was going to college, and that was my insist that we sit down and have dinner together, even if it was for a few minutes.
Exactly. It's something about the wholeness, the personableness. It's just, it puts the heart back into the family.
It does. When you have to sit down and talk to each other.
And slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
And so when I think about the books that you have for the young people as well as adults, because all of us can get a good devotional every now and then. We need that every day.
Yes.
And so what do you do? Do you have like a nonprofit or a business for profit, or you just an entrepreneur? That's what I call it.
I am an entrepreneur. I like that. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm still growing.
Okay.
In this process. My business is about 6 years old, and that's pretty young.
That's good though.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
Most new businesses fail within the first 3 years. So you made it over the curve.
But I don't intend to fail because, and a lot of people see failure as profit or non-profit.
Yeah.
Right? Success is profit or non-profit. My success is whether or not someone can pick up a book that I've written and find the value in it. We must see success differently than just in profit.
Yeah.
If I can save one child from believing that they are ugly because somebody else said they were ugly, then it was worth the journey for me. I see so many kids, when I taught, I saw a lot of kids who didn't believe they were worthy of success. And we have this new thing people are saying now, that they are, I'm sorry, I can't even think of the word now, but there are a lot of people now who there's a phrase for people who believe that they don't believe in their own success.
Self-sabotage.
That's one of them, but there's I'm so sorry.
Imposter syndrome.
Boom. That. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We sisters. But that imposter syndrome starts early. That's not something that you develop as an adult, trying to scurry away from your success. That's something that happens when people don't always acknowledge that they're successful even in the smaller things. And then they begin to not believe in themselves. We have to figure out a way to break that early.
We do.
We have to. We've put a name to it because we need to identify we need to identify ourselves so that we can change the narrative. But our children have that, and we have to figure out a way to keep them from sabotaging themselves because they don't believe in themselves. And it's not just sports. We have a lot of people who feel like they can only be successful in sports and in music. And I used to tell my middle school students all the time, what are you going to do if you injure yourself? My brother was a fantastic high school football player until he was injured. And then they all look at me like, well, I'm just going to make it. I said, everybody in the country is trying to make it. What are you going to do if you don't? Reading and math are your tickets, period. And so we have to continue to encourage our children and allow our children to believe that they are not imposters in their own lives. They can be successful. And you can acknowledge your success. It's okay to be proud of yourself. You don't have to diminish yourself. Be proud of who you are and what you bring to the table. And life is full of challenges and trials and triumphs. And for a while in education, we diminished the trial. Everybody got a certificate.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's okay. Except we fail to teach that there are going to be times when you're not going to be the most successful. And what do you do as a result of that? That's what we didn't get. That's what we didn't teach our children. What do you do as a result of not being successful? And we have to keep paving the way for that.
Yeah, and understand that struggles and challenges are just avenues for you to grow.
There you go.
It's just avenues for you to grow.
Yes.
That's it. And stop being embarrassed. And I speak on this all the time with my morning motivation about you just need to learn to celebrate the small wins.
Yes.
We look at only the big things,
Yes.
the accolades, the certificates, the degrees, or whatever it is that is something that's grandiose. But it is a combination of multiple small things that carry you
Yes.
to that big moment. We need to start giving ourselves grace.
Yes.
We need to start instilling that in our children, letting them know that, hey, you may not be in first place this time, but now you know what you need to do in order to achieve that the next time, if that is your goal. But still, you are winning because you actually tried.
Yes.
You tried, and just build and grow on that. I do agree with you. I see why they give everybody certificates because of self-esteem.
Yes.
However, in the haste of trying to please everybody, we disservice the children in a way too. And so we all make mistakes. We're all trying to figure it out, because what we don't want is children feeling like they're less than and they can't just for a hue of their skin.
Right.
The way that their hair is.
Right.
The family or background or lineage.
Right.
No child should feel like they're disadvantaged just because of something like that.
Yes.
All right. And so letting them know they're beautiful, they're handsome. All of that makes sense. And so tell everyone where they can find your books, and also how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me at vernettcnettles@gmail.com. I am always eager to hear from people to engage in conversation. You can connect with me via my website at www.vernettcnettles.com, and that's spelled VERNETCNETTLES.com, or for Daily Prayer, VCNDailyPray.com.
And the Daily Prayer, is that online or is that emails? How is that?
I send email and text message, excuse me, with that Daily Prayer.
Okay.
And it's 5 days a week. And I still get fussed at because I don't do Saturday and Sunday, but I need to recharge.
Everybody need a break. Even God took a break. Okay. We all need a break. Okay, don't let me get on that. All right, you guys, be grateful for the 5, and then you do the other 2.
And pray for me.
Yeah, because as leaders, people sometimes don't realize it's a burden, but it's a burden we're willing to carry because we love.
Yeah.
And we want people to be able to have that because we know we're on assignment. Okay, and it's on
Wow.
purpose. We
Wow.
understand our assignment.
Wow.
But yet we still need to be filled. We
Yes.
still need to recharge because we're human.
Yes.
We're human. So do a good old replay. You know, you reread some of the past stuff if you can't get anything. But at any rate, you guys, thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your story
you.
and your devotional and everything that you're doing in the community. Congratulations on 6 years of being an entrepreneur.
Thank
And thank you for sharing your story
Thank you
on
for
our show
having me.
today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's my pleasure.
It was mine.
You guys, I know you enjoyed that. So for those of you have you ever heard the term entrepreneur? Yes, it's a thing. And if you are a person that have a story of inspiration that you are willing to put pen to paper, didn't you hear where she said that she actually helped people write?
Right. And if God has given you something to
Mhm.
say, you want to say it.
Mhm.
You want to do it. You don't know who is waiting to hear, and that small piece of encouragement can actually embolden someone else to move forward. If you have a story to tell, start writing.
Yes, and we all have a story because your story does matter.
Absolutely.
Listen, you guys, thank you so much for watching our show today, and we will be back same time, same place next week on our show. See you next time. Bye.
Have a good one.
Welcome to CTR Media Network, where we're revolutionizing the podcasting landscape. Are you an entrepreneur or podcaster searching for a platform to amplify your voice and message? Do you desire a way to establish yourself as the go-to authority in your niche without breaking the bank? Podcasters, are you on the hunt for a platform that not only offers unwavering support but also provides expert podcast coaching, robust podcast promotion strategies, and invaluable insights into podcast monetization, all while ensuring you retain complete ownership of your content? Look no further. At CTR Media Network, we've got you covered. We have helped countless entrepreneurs and podcasters reach their goals over a period of time. At CTR Media Network, we're dedicated to nurturing both you and your brand. We specialize in helping podcasters and entrepreneurs grow. We're here to help you maximize your visibility and market share both online and offline. Our diverse podcast network spans across social media, 24/7 streaming online TV, Roku TV, radio, media outlets, podcasting platforms, and more, reaching an impressive 350 million households. But beyond numbers, we prioritize care, education, and assistance in realizing your dreams of making a positive impact on the world. Join us in this mission by allowing us to provide our platform for you to share your compelling podcast shows, engaging interviews, standout products, services, and impactful advertisements. Experience the difference with CTR Media Network, the network that genuinely cares about you, your journey, and treat you like family.